Drosophily is better known as archery. The word comes from the Greek toxin, meaning bow, and philos, meaning loving. Today's archery, as seen here at the Southern Vales Archery Club, has come a long way since it was developed by prehistoric people about 30,000 years ago for hunting. It was more highly developed by the Turks and English for warfare, but was superseded by firearms, and now is relegated to recreational hunting or for this type of family-oriented sporting competition. However, the sport, like all others, continues to be developed, and South Australia is probably the leader in the country, particularly in terms of developing talent. One person qualified to talk about the directions the sport is taking is Adelaide Archery Club's Chris Blake, Australia's only male representative at the Los Angeles Olympics.
They're making great advances with the use of carbon graphite. They're using Kevlar string now. They've been using that for about the last 10 years. Arrows, they've got different fletchers on them. Yes, science plays an important part in archery.
And I believe also sports psychology plays a fairly big role too.
Especially in archery, a lot of concentration is required.
And what sort of areas would some of the top archers be looking at to improve their shooting?
Mental imagery, self-hypnosis, this type of thing, the Zen side of sport.
How does Zen come into it?
Archery is actually a Zen exercise.
Despite the talents of archers like Chris Blake, Australia unfortunately is still way down the ladder on international standings.
I guess we don't get enough international experience above all other things.
Is technology, does that play a big part in the reasons for Australia being low down the scale?
Well, it would be nice to make the arrows that are being used. Like, for example, the Americans have the carbon arrows and they get first pick of the batch, so to speak. Although I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but it always is helpful.
South Australia's done fairly well recently in producing top-line Australian archers. What has been the reason for that?
Well, we've got the largest number of archers in South Australia. The Adelaide Archery Club started in about 1850, and it virtually started from there.
So clubs like Southern Vales are vital to the continued improvement of Australia's international aspirations, particularly when the club is determined to provide its members with every possible competition situation. With this in mind, Southern Vales recently opened its field range, a sort of compromise between target archery and hunting, although bowmen still shoot at targets.
Target is shooting at a target, as you see here. You stand at a distance and shoot maybe 30 or 36 arrows at that distance. Field shooting is, well, I sort of usually liken it to golf. You go around a course where each target has a different size face on it. You shoot 4 arrows at it. Some of the targets you actually shoot 1 arrow, walk up 5 metres, shoot another arrow. You then go on to another one which may be up or downhill, and it just puts a lot more variation into the type of shooting that you do.
One of the major recent developments of the sport has been the compound bow, a piece of equipment very distinct from the easily recognisable recurve bow. The compound is a relatively new innovation and as such is yet to be accepted into Olympic or World Champion competition.
The recurve is like I'm holding here. The recurve refers to the forward bend until it's strung of the limbs. The compound bow was a development to allow people that had minor handicaps or whatever to use a bow. It's got pulleys with cam actions, which means that they can actually have a bow that puts more power in without being so heavy to hold.
So how do you tackle the problem of hitting a target? The experts say the sport is 10% physical and 90% mental. And I found, surprisingly, the pressure needed to draw the bow is not as heavy as you might think.
Bring it back so that your hand anchors under your jawbone. Now bring it back. Now just relax the muscles in the back of your hand. Just relax these muscles here. And your elbow flies backwards away from your face. Now let her rip.
Well, William Tell I'm not. I would have missed the apple and probably hit the boy.
Didn't
hit the
target.
William Tell he is not, that's for sure. The Archery Society of South Australia, by the way, is keen to promote the sport in the state because the 1987 world titles will be held